We set out on a simple quest to ask Canadian food and beverage manufacturers what sustainability means to them.
Sure. Can I stop for a second? Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, they actually had a lot to say. From the brewery to the bakery, winery to wienery, we're excited about sharing what the makers of some of our favorite foods have to say about carrying social and environmental ideals from the shop floor to the store shelf.
And everybody thinks that green means sustainability, but to me, sustainability means more than that. And when you look at sustainability, it's about the environment, yes, but it's also about the people. There's a social aspect to it.
CSR is reflected in the way that we deliver our products, our services, and experience to our customers, and it also underpins the company's purpose, which is helping Canadians live life well.
While everyone had their own way of defining sustainability, they all agreed that the three pillars of sustainable action, economic prosperity, environmental efficiency, and social responsibility, have to be part of the equation. And while our companies might have brought these values together in different ways, there were common starting points.
And I call it awareness. There's an awareness of how much water you use. You didn't have that before. You weren't looking at your water costs, you weren't looking at your electricity, you weren't looking at your gas. And when you look at it and you can start finding these savings, that's what makes you sustainable. That's where you start saving money. You're figuring out how much water do you spend per bottle of wine, how much electricity per bottle of wine. How can we get that down? Is there anything we can do?
Once we decide what are those top 4 or 5 focus areas that we really want to draw our attention to and make an impact, then we have these conversations internally, and once we get buy-in, then we also have the conversations with our manufacturers and with our vendors as well, and see how we can work collaboratively to make it happen.
Beyond the numbers, beyond the logical ways these companies were engineering paybacks, something else stood out. A genuine passion we saw in people that's clearly both a product of aspiring to be a more sustainable enterprise as well as an essential ingredient for continuing to move forward.
I tend to be a bit of an organizational person in the stores, and we'll reorganize things so that they're nice and neat for our customers to choose. You have to be proud of the product your business produces.
First, begin with your own staff. They're the ones that are close to your business. They see every day what's going on in your operations, and you might be surprised by just simply asking them, how could we improve?
Best control for energy is digital control, and by digital I mean one's finger. Turning equipment off, turning lights off. All of our approaches start with employee behavior.
We're very proud to be a leader, but we also take our cues from other successful companies, and we find the successful companies have this philosophy.
The principles of sustainability are embedded in our business not only because we believe that we have an obligation to do right with the community, but also because it does make good business sense.
Being more efficient and doing things in a better way, you should always be looking for those things.
As long as you're trying, as long as you're continually improving, that is acceptable. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be super sophisticated, that you have to know the whole life cycle analysis of every commodity that goes into making your good.
Being the low-cost producer today may not be enough. Most of the competitive bid processes that our businesses go through, a portion of it involves us telling our story about our sustainability work.
So don't hesitate. Just start, launch in, and I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised.
Pay us a visit to learn more about how Provision Coalition can help your organization achieve a more innovative and sustainable future.